Hey guys, welcome back to Onewheel 101 series. I put out a post on the Facebook Onewheel Owners group to see what you guys might like to learn about one-wheeling. The suggestions, things you might want to know, tips, tricks, whatever. So my first tip is going to be, since you're probably watching this on my YouTube channel, to join the Facebook Onewheel Owners group and your local Facebook groups, because it's a great way to meet people, great way to learn a lot about one wheels. It's the most information-dense platform available for one wheels. Facebook is where it's at. Whether you hate Facebook or not, I know they're a pretty evil corporation, but join up at least just for the one wheeling. You're going to learn a lot. You'll meet a lot of cool people. You can catch up with your local groups, things like that. One comment came in from Joel Ruiz, and he gave me a couple of good ones. So I'm going to speak to that. And then at the end, I'm going to give you some tips and tricks that even if you've been riding for a while, some of these you may not know. You probably may not know. So he wanted to ask about how to deal with crowds, passing through crowds. First thing I would say, if you have a way to avoid it, don't ride through crowds. It's kind of never a good look if we're weaving it through a tight group of people. We need to always remember that this is a new sport, product, whatever this is. We're guests. Everybody was here before us, whether it's bikes, people, crowds, and anything we do, you piss off the wrong busybody, and they're going to get on the forums. They're going to go to their city council meetings. I know none of you do. I certainly don't. They're going to complain, and we're going to get banned. So courtesy is huge. If you have to go through crowds, here's a good tip my daughter thought of. And I know you guys probably thought of this too, but I didn't. Play some music. She just whipped her phone out and played some music. So she'd approach, and people would kind of hear her, and they kind of look to see what was happening, and then they get out of the way. What I usually do if I'm coming up and people don't move, I'll wait a minute. They usually notice, or I'll just say on your left or excuse me, and they'll kind of look and they'll kind of get out of your way. But one thing that I think is always helpful and is going to go a long way just to keeping a good reputation in the community, always smile and wave. Costs nothing. As you pass somebody, smile and wave. Let's keep a good reputation in the community. There's already enough people out there on old lime scooters making a mess, throwing them everywhere. We'd like to keep ourselves separate. There really aren't that many one wheels out in the wild right now. Maybe we can hold ourselves to a higher level of courtesy and respect that people, when they see a one wheel, they won't think the same things they think when they see a ultra lime scooter. He also asked about trails. Trails are kind of a different environment. One of the first things I think about in trail, again, is the whole courtesy thing and watch out for your busybodies. You piss off one mountain biker, they're going to get on their Facebook group and they're all going to talk about the one wheels and they're going to ban it. One of the great things about trails is that bikes leave ruts. They leave 1-inch wide ruts that have to be fixed. We have a nice wide tire. We actually help the trails. We don't hurt the trails. We smooth out the trails for the mountain bikes. So that's one kind of an advantage to one of those being on trails. Always wear a helmet. It's pretty much always going to say so anyways, but if you start rolling in there without a helmet, that's going to draw attention to yourself that you don't want. Remember, smile and wave. Smile and wave to all the bikers. And on mountain bike trails, bikers are almost always faster than you. Keep an eye out for them. Listen for them. Get out of their way. Smile and wave. And also practice plus one wheeling. What I call plus one wheeling is always pack out more trash than you bring in. Don't ever leave trash, but as you pass by, you probably got a backpack anyway, maybe with your batteries, your water, and all that. When you see a plastic bottle, pick it up. Pick up a couple bottles and throw them out on your way out. Let's just go out of our way to have the best reputation in any place that we ride. We want one of those to be known for, we're already older folks, let's be known for courtesy, respect, taking care of the environment. Let's not get kicked out of more places. We already are. If you get a ticket, join the Facebook One Wheel Legal Freedoms group. There are some lawyers that are on there that are trying to help us. Sometimes it's appropriate to fight back. Some people have fought back, at least in the state of Florida, and won. So don't take it lying down. It might be worth your time, and the community would really appreciate your efforts if you fight your tickets, fight them well, and hopefully win, so we can be able to ride our one wheels anywhere we want to ride. These things will go just about anywhere, so let's keep it that way. These are the fun things. There were tips and tricks. Some of these I learned very recently. One is, in your app, in your one wheel app, you know how you can turn on and off your headlights. If you don't know that, that's something you just learned. There's a symbol that looks kind of like a star or a light. It's a circle with lines around it. If you press that, you can turn off your lights. It'll turn off your LED lights. I don't think it really saves much power. I don't see any reason really to do that unless you just don't want your lights on. But what I just learned recently is if you hold that button down for a few seconds, it actually turns your lights to a higher intensity. High beams. You get high beams. It's kind of cool. I just learned that recently. Another cool thing that I just learned is your power button you may have noticed that it blinks to give you error codes and things like that. Notice my power button stays blue and then blinks off briefly. What that's telling you is your battery level. You don't even have to pull out your app to find your battery level. You see right now it's almost all blue and then a very short period of dark. The dark represents battery loss. So I'm probably well into 90%, 95%. If it stays dark and then barely blinks on, then you're low. You might be 5%. So that's a power gauge. Next thing I'm going to show you, somebody mentioned recently, and then Jeff McCosker said, be careful with that because he used to do that and then he ended up cutting his hands. We don't want to cut our hands, but in a pinch, you can make a handle out of the side of your board. One side has the hub and the O symbol with the little screws, not that side, but the other side. If you put your hand in, and careful, don't cut your fingers, they can be sharp. If you reach in all the way past the metal outside hub piece, you can pick it up and it makes a pretty convenient handle. You want this side only, kind of move the valve out of the way, but it's a little more convenient in a lot of situations than using your top handle. Another, just a slight hint that is probably rarely going to affect you, but especially if the board's on the ground, when you use your standard handle, use what they call in jiu-jitsu monkey grips. Don't use your thumb. What you tend to do is reach to the top. Now, especially if you have sharp grip tape, you may cut your thumb, you may scratch it up, but more importantly, if you happen to cross both sensors and your board's in the wrong position, sometimes by grabbing it and putting your thumb on the top of the board, you'll actually activate the board. Not a good scene if you're just trying to pick your board up and the motor kicks on. So grab it monkey grips, pick it up. So this is another one that I did that I think is a fine-tuning point for one of the dismounts, and I don't have this in either of my dismount videos. The most commonly used method for dismount that Future Motion talks about and recommends is the heel lift method, where you lift and put weight on the ball of your foot, and it looks a little bit like this: lift, click, drive. One of the biggest problems I have with people that they're trying this and it just isn't working for them is that, and I've explained in my other videos, there's other points, I won't go over those again, but a lot of the time, if you lift up, your board is kind of flopping around. It goes with you. What you have to realize is now that you're lifting all your weight onto here, counterbalance it on the opposite corner by dropping your heel. So your weight is going to look more like this. Not really, you're not going to lift this toe, but you put some weight. If you counter that out, your board stays level rather than tilting one direction. Feel this one, I'm putting weight on my right back heel, my tail heel, as I put weight on the front, nice and level. So there's just another fine point tip. Hope this helped you out. I hope some of these are ones you've never seen before, and stay tuned for more from the Onewheel 101 video series.